Good afternoon and welcome to the lunchtime broadcast where we highlight news making waves ranging from current affairs, community stories, sports and economic news. Here are the headlines. Namibia Wildlife Resorts commits to improve employee remuneration. Oshakati informal settlement upgrades are a priority. Only 12 out of 36 hospitals are partially functioning in Gaza, and this is according to the UN. I am Aina Kweyo, and this is NMH at 1. You can follow all our programs on our website, which is called oneup2.com, or DSTV 285 or GoTV 25 in Namibia. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has warned the deterioration health services in Gaza, indicating that only 12 out of 36 hospitals are partially functioning in the conflict-hit region. The UN body further said that even with additional field hospitals in operation, there is nowhere near enough health infrastructure to cope with the tens of thousands that are injured in the war. OCHA Gaza Humanitarian Affairs Officer Yasmina Gweda said that the healthcare system is on its knees in Gaza. Many have lost their limbs, many have traumatic brain injuries, and thousands have lost their hearing capacity because of the constant explosions, she added. Gweda said that in addition, there have been constant attacks against healthcare facilities, hospitals in particular, in direct violation of international humanitarian law. After the break, we return with visual news. Stay with us.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
In our visual news this afternoon, Namibia Wildlife Resorts Managing Director Dr. Matthias Ngwangwama says the company has committed to improving the remuneration of its employees in line with the existing market rates. It follows a signing agreement with the Namibia Public Workers Union. Have a look.
We conducted a benchmark against the market, comparing to the Tier 2 commercial enterprises, and then also the public enterprises in Namibia, and to an extent also private companies, market remuneration. And this was we were assisted by PricewaterhouseCoopers. You know, they do this market benchmark surveys. They help us in that, to be able to come up with evidence to say the remuneration of NWR, how does it compare to the market? And they come up with findings. And what we are seeing now today is the implementation of those findings. Basically to adjust the remuneration of NWR employees on those grades I said to the market. So basically this means that the alignment was, their salary scales, and the employees were adjusted to the minimum of the salary scales of the new market.
After the break, we return with our newspaper review. Stay with us.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, You have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Let's get into our newspaper review, starting with Namibian Sun. Almost 2 weeks after Walvis Bay Mayor Trevino Forbes called on the municipality to rescind a decision to suspend 2 of its managers over a controversial agreement with Red Force Debt Management, his advice has not been heeded by the town's acting CEO, John Esterhazy. The municipality's general manager for finance, Frans Goteb, was suspended on Wednesday, the 8th of May, alongside credit control manager Joanna Shidute, in order for the comprehensive investigation to take place into the Red Force contract. The Swakopmund Municipal Council recently announced an investment of nearly 14 million Namibian dollars to enhance the town's sewerage system. This initiative is part of a comprehensive plan to upgrade various municipal facilities, including water and road systems, to ensure they meet the growing demand of both residential and commercial areas. Clarence McClown, the general manager of the municipality's Engineering and Planning Services Department, delivered an extensive presentation on the council's effort over the past decade. The presentation highlighted that the municipality has committed close to 28 million Namibian dollars in capital towards at least 10 major projects aimed at upgrading and expanding infrastructure. Icon, inspiration, brilliant in her work and mentor to multitudes, formidable journalist. This is how Namibians reacted in their hundreds to the sad news of Republicans' former news editor Ronald Rademacher, who died of cancer on Monday evening in Windhoek. From various messages, it was clear that apart from the formidable and fearless journalist she was, it was also her empathy, compassion, and humanity that stuck with so many. Halliburton Industries plans to invest nearly 2 million Namibian dollars, 200 million Namibian dollars rather, in Walvis Bay to construct a liquid mud treatment and completion fluid plant. The plant will provide drilling and completion fluids for use by oil rigs involved in various oil exploration campaigns along the Namibian coast. The environment clearance process has been initiated, and SLR Consulting Namibia has been appointed to manage the process and prepare the necessary applications. Stakeholders can find background information on the SLR website and have until the 5th of June to provide input and register as an interested or affected party. According to Allgemeine Zeitung, the SADC community of state is reaching out to national, regional, and international partners for financial support to address the impact of the El Nino phenomenon in southern Africa. The heads of states, together with a donor and aid organization, aim to help more than 61 million people overcome drought and floods. 7 of the defendants in the fish rod corruption scandal claim that their safety was endangered after their transfer to the wing for prisoners on remand, Wing C particularly. They also claim that the other inmates have threatened and mocked them in the past. Only former Minister Esau remains in solitary confinement. After the break, we return with more newspaper review.
Are you tired of just hanging around at home while waiting for something to do? Check out eticket.diary.my.na for what's hot on the social scene across the country, Or if you're arranging an event you'd like us to feature, contact Jareen at we.com.na. We can sell your tickets too.
The Namibian reports that as the country faces the worst drought in 100 years, about 331,000 households have been registered countrywide to receive drought relief food aid. The executive director in the office of the Prime Minister, Ben Nashandi, says a vulnerability assessment and analysis which were conducted in 2023 estimated that 172,200 households would require assistance due to food insecurity. On its page 3, the paper reports that political analyst Dumba Kamwanya believes national unity for Democratic Organization Secretary General Joseph Kawandenge's decision to withdraw from the running for the party's top job was likely forced. Kawandenge yesterday announced he would not run for the presidency or any other position at the party's upcoming elective Congress in July. Financially struggling railway company Trans-Namibia has evicted the Trasco United Bowling Club from its bowling turf for failing to honor its rental commitments. Trans-Namibia has not received a single cent from the property it has rented out for 8 years now. It has surfaced. This comes after Trasco United Bowling Club, formerly known as Trans-Namibia Bowling Club, claimed last month they were unfairly kicked out from the property without concrete reason. The Global Fund has injected 647 million Namibian dollars in grants to Namibia in its quest to combat HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. The new grants were signed off by the fund's head for Africa and the Middle East, Katie Folso, and Health Minister Dr. Kalumbi Shangula last Friday. Speaking at the signing ceremony, So said the new grants will continue to support the fight against HIV and AIDS, TB and malaria, while also strengthening public health systems over the 2024-2026 period. Finance and Public Enterprise Minister Ipumbushimi says that the revised income tax bracket are likely to take effect only in October, owing to legal requirements that must first take their course before the implementation. Revisions to the income tax brackets were announced in February with a tabling of the budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. The new tax brackets stipulates that individuals earning a yearly salary of under 100,000 Namibian dollars per annum will no longer be subject to paying tax. After the break, we return with economic news where we speak about the Oshakati informal settlements.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
In economic news this afternoon, Oshakati Mayor Leonard Hango said while the town is known for its many informal settlements, authorities are working around the clock to ensure citizens in these areas have access to basic services. Hango was speaking at the commissioning of the construction of the MR 111 Okahawa Road and the MR 92 intersection road, as well as the construction of the new sewer reticulation system system in Ebururuko, Oshakati on Friday. He said Oshakati currently houses 9 informal settlements where residents grapple with unhygienic environmental conditions and lack access to basic services such as water, electricity, sewerage lines, and access to roads to their homes. Our main strategic focal point was to ensure that we formalize all informal settlements in Oshakati, and we are committed. Each financial year, we place a high budget on the familiarization of our informal settlements, Hango said. And now let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 7 cents to 1 British pound, 19 Namibian dollars 68 cents to 1 euro, 18 Namibian dollars 15 cents to 1 US dollar, 2 Namibian dollars 51 cents get you 1 Chinese yuan. Letseco Holding Ltd has increased on the local share with 2.50%, as well as Namibia Breweries Ltd with 0.03%. Platinum has increased, and it's the only commodity that went up with 0.11%. All the other commodities, gold dropped with 0.29%, copper 2.31%, and Brent crude oil with 0.11%. The local index closed with an increase of 0.12%, while the overall index closed with a decline of 0.05%. After the break, we return with news from Africa. Stay with us. At least 22 people kidnapped by gunmen from the suburban Dawaki district of Abuja, Nigeria's capital, were rescued, police and residents said on Tuesday. Kidnapping for ransom is rife in Nigeria as roving gangs of armed men target people in remote areas, highways and schools. While there have been a few attacks and kidnappings around Abuja in recent years, the incidents have been largely consigned to the outskirts of the city where security is lax. Nicholas Olanyika, a resident, told Reuters on Tuesday that a large number of hooded gunmen in military uniform invaded the parts of the district at about 7:40 p.m. local time on Monday, shooting sporadically and causing a panic as people fled for safety. In the end, we realized they had taken about 19 people in the streets around Fulani Junction and another 3 from the adjoining street, Olanyika said. Abuja police spokesperson Josephine Ade said in a statement that a report of the incident was received from a resident, after which officers were mobilized alongside local hunters who ambushed the gunmen. Moving over to our next story, South Africa's public power utility Eskom will delay the closure of some coal-fired power plants. Local media outlets Engineering News reported on Monday that Eskom board gave its approval for the continued operation of the Chem Dam, Crude Flay and the Hendrina Power Station to 2030. The power stations were initially scheduled to be retired between 2023 and 2027. South Africa experienced one of its worst electricity crises last year with a daily power cuts of up to almost 10 hours. It strangled Africa's most developed economy. This put the spotlight on the government's energy transition strategy. After the break, we return with international news. Stay with us. Russia on Tuesday said the United States was seeking to place weapons in space, the latest accusation in an ongoing war that comes a day after Washington vetoed on a non-proliferation motion at the United Nations. They have once again demonstrated that their true properties in the area of outer space are aimed not at keeping space free from the weapons of any kind, but at placing weapons in space and turning it into an arena of military confrontation, Russia's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said in a statement. Now we move over to our next story. More than 100 passengers and crew from the Singapore Airlines Open New Tab flight hit by heavy turbulence that left dozens injured and one dead finally reached Singapore on a relief flight Wednesday morning after an emergency landing in Bangkok. The scheduled London-Singapore flight on a Boeing Open's New Tab plane diverted to Bangkok after the plane was buffeted by turbulence and flagged passengers and crew around the cabin, slamming some into the ceiling. A 73-year-old British passenger died of a suspected heart attack, and at least 30 people were injured. Photographs from the interior of the plane showed gashes in the overhead cabin panels, oxygen mask and panels hanging from the ceiling, and luggage strewn around. A passenger said some people's heads had slammed into the lights above the seats and broken their panels. After the break, we return with local sports. Please do stay with us. The Namibian men and women squad have been fully focused on their final preparation ahead of the Indoor Hockey Africa Cup starting at the MTC Dome in Swakopmund tomorrow. Host Namibia and South Africa are firm favorites to secure the two available spots in each gender towards qualifying for the 2025 Indoor World Cup to be held in Croatia. After the break, we return with international sports. Stay with us. In our international sports news this afternoon, Pep Guardiola was named Premier League Manager of the Year on Tuesday after guiding Manchester City to an unprecedented fourth successive title. The Spanish coach has previously won the award 4 times since he joined the club in 2016. With 6 league titles, he is now the joint second most successful coach in the history of English football. After the break, we return with our highlights. Please don't go away. In our highlights this afternoon, at least 22 people kidnapped by gunmen from the suburban Dawaki district of Abuja, Nigeria's capital, were rescued, police and residents said. Russia on Tuesday said the United States was seeking to place weapons in space, the latest accusation in an ongoing war that comes a day after Washington vetoed a Russian non-proliferation motion at the United Nations. The Namibia men's and women's squad have been fully focused on their final preparations ahead of the Indoor Hockey Africa Cup starting at MTC The Dome in Swakopmund tomorrow. This has been NMH at 1. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Enjoy your afternoon.